Now, just when everyone was least expecting it, the entire fabric of the rap game has changed forever, as after all the speculation and wonder, Kendrick Lamar has come out of nowhere and finally given us not just a moment, but the exact thing that would freeze the rap game and create an atmosphere that nothing else can, with, of course, his brand new studio album. And now, right out of nowhere randomly in the morning, Kendrick has given us this brand new project called GNX, and with 12 new songs that span across a runtime of 44 minutes. While it's too early to go into what everything on this project is telling us and what it all really means in depth, what's already clear and what the album wants you to know over everything is that this is a record that features a performance from a rapper like the genre has never been able to see. As we are witnessing Kendrick Lamar come back out in this time where he clearly isn't just the best rapper in the game in terms of everything he can do and pull off, but he's also the most important and feared MC out. As in a rap game where there are so many clowns and people who are always starting drama and doing things for all the wrong reasons, Kendrick Lamar is walking out amidst all of the chaos in hip-hop right now, and more than just dissing Drake and his crew, he is sending a message here to the entire genre to just get better and stop doing all of the ridiculous stuff that has been diluting hip-hop as an art form, and whether this is from other rap legends sneak dissing him, or rappers just not being able to stand on any sort of ground or message. Kendrick Lamar is warning everyone right now to pick a side and stand there. And with Kendrick having such things coming up on his calendar as playing the biggest show in all of music with the Super Bowl, with all the rappers who have shown that they are jealous of him, it really seems like with this move to release this project, Kendrick Lamar is throwing everything out to get the best of his peers before anyone else can even try or think about doing something to step on the moment and run that he is commanding so much respect for right now. And in addition to Kendrick really just going off on the entire rap game here. Another clear thing this album wants you to understand is that just like we saw during his pop-out concert, being with the area he is from in the West Coast is so important to him, and Kendrick really cares so much about the people he has come up with and who have helped shape him into the MC and man he is today. And this is really made clear by the fact that Kendrick features an array of West Coast MCs just because of their skills as opposed to their star power, because for a lot of features on this album, for a lot of MCs on this record, this is the biggest moment of their entire careers. And Kendrick Lamar really is a real one for including rappers who don't dominate the charts on this record right alongside him, as it's really just showing where he is at in his career and what he is trying to accomplish. Because in a rap game where someone like Drake, for example, who just like a lot of other artists designed their most recent album to have all the biggest names in the game on it, to supplement for their own lack of skill and excitement on their end. What we're seeing Kendrick do here is the exact opposite, as he is using these names to contribute and create a greater message about the coast he is from, and the people who have supported and stood by his side when everyone else has not. And now with these two themes and ideas, Kendrick has everything he needs here to just unleash mayhem on the entire music world. And if Kendrick's 2024 run has taught us one thing, it's that you should already know that this is exactly what he was going to do here. And while with a lot of these tracks, there is again so much being said that they need their own analysis and deep dives, which speaking of, to stay up to date with everything that needs to be said about this album, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. But regardless of everything that we really need to look deeper into, what's obvious is that throughout this entire LP, where previously all of Kendrick Lamar's albums had this distinct emotional tone to them that genuinely allowed for them to have these greater messages that make you think on the most philosophical of levels. Here things are different, as Kendrick just has this sense of vengeance to him, which gives him an aura that really not even the best rappers even in their prime have been able to walk with. Just because between what this moment represents, Kendrick's demeanor on this entire project, which most of the time comes with so much aggression, to then of course his pen game, which is just as technically proficient as it is ferocious. Overall, it's clear that this album is a warning to the rap game to move and stay out of the way because the best MC on the planet is here, and despite how so much of the culture has celebrated him and how he defeated who was the biggest rival he has ever had, Kendrick still needs to accomplish so much in this genre and space, and he is not going to stop until hip-hop looks different. And really what's interesting about this LP is that the way Kendrick wrote and performs here, it really feels like this is just chapter 1 to some greater moment and not the final bow out. Which based on the fact that we already got a snippet that is not featured on the project in a video. It seems like this very well could be the case. But now with this type of vibe on a record that's so gritty and unpredictable, this is another skill that the record uses to its advantage, because with what Kendrick is doing, there's this sense of unpredictability that no other rapper or artist today can even create a fraction of. And I mean, for the first time in Kendrick Lamar's career, hearing him make an entire record with the same moniker that defined a verse like Control back in the day, or all of his Drake disses this year, is genuinely one of the best things we could have gotten as rap fans. Is when it comes to being a conceptualist and master storyteller, it still feels like for the time being Kendrick has peaked there, but with the demeanor and moniker that has possessed him all 2024. We are just seeing the start to how he plays this version of himself, and the performance he creates is just so powerful on this album, because between the loud and in-your-face bangers that highlight everything this moment in time represents, like of course the long-awaited Broccoli snippet, which is now the track Squabble Up, and with that song, it's clear that even with months of hype, that record managed to live up to everything it was anticipated for. And honestly, even more, because it really sounds better than anyone could have ever imagined in its complete state. But also with this album, not every cut is this overly intense moment where Kendrick Lamar is just not letting up on the mic, because there are also multiple cuts where he uses his demeanor and mindset to slow things down and create lyrical canvases that are more emotional and centered around his family and friends. And within these moments, we almost learn more about where Kendrick Lamar is at as a person, because we are seeing where his mindset that he has used all throughout 2024 meets with the man who he has shown he is deep down inside. And it really is infatuating to see what is the joining and alignment of the healed man we saw on Mr. Morale, with this livid and chaotic side that we have seen from Kendrick all throughout here. And now with all of this going on from Kendrick Lamar, another takeaway from this album is that with this performance and with the ruthless demeanor he is showing off, even more than we saw on tracks in Like That or Not Like Us, Kendrick really does want rappers to just feel his full and uncompromised wrath and understand that with the performance we are witnessing, that right before our eyes, 2024 Kendrick Lamar is being solidified with the likes of a prime Tupac or an 0350 Cent as these immovable forces in hip-hop that manage to walk on the line of art and competition so masterfully. And I think in the grand picture of this album, this is really its greatest feat, because at the end of the day, hip-hop is just as competitive of a sport as it is profound of an art form, and despite that being within the very DNA of the genre, for whatever reasons, more people have stood away from walking on this line and making a genuine impact in both of these lanes that are needed to dominate as a rapper. And with what Kendrick is doing here, as in the grand picture of his discography, every album he has dropped has broken down doors. What this album feels like it's doing is breaking down this one more than anything else, because what we are seeing here is that simultaneously, you can be a great MC who is making high concept songs and who is telling insightful and impactful stories, but still be so hungry and really angry at the rest of your peers. And with both of these, what Kendrick ends up creating, this is really like something that rap has not seen today, because this is something that we just don't ever get. And really, when it comes to this art form being so competitive, we just have been put further from that as the decades have passed. And in a way, it almost feels like this very mission is what Kendrick has been fighting for all along, which at its core is the idea and pursuit to create a hip-hop landscape where rappers are fully holding up to the title of what they are supposed to do in the booth, which is to be just as competitive as you are skilled of a writer. And based on how ruthless Kendrick talks here, now he throws out a lot of disses and jabs at legends and just lets them know that he is standing with the crown in his hand and he will take on any challenge. That I think on some level, when it comes to worthy opponents, Kendrick really just wants to see chaos, and he wants to see how something like this can cause everyone else to react and respond. As right now, as far as anybody should be concerned, any rapper who considers themselves to be a big player in hip-hop now has their backs against the wall, and I mean with this power and passion that just makes listening to all 44 minutes of this project more rewarding and thrilling. While again, there is so much to say and talk about with this album that it's hard to really put into perspective on its initial impact, what's definitive and what will continue to be said about this record for years to come is that it's restoring that spirit and energy in hip-hop that has defined what this genre has meant in its best eras and bringing it to heights that we have never seen in this generation. And all in all, no matter what, the fact that Kendrick Lamar, even after having the greatest year any rapper has in years without an album, is still leveling up what it means to be an MC and competitor in this space where, based on everything that's already happened, he really has no reason or incentive to. Overall, it's showing that we are witnessing one of the best moments from arguably the best rapper of all time, which is saying a lot. And while we are in this moment, we should just all appreciate what peak rapping and hip-hop music really looks like, because who knows when we'll see this again. And so now with all of this said, let me know, what do you think about this new Kendrick Lamar album so far? What are your favorite songs and what are your initial thoughts? I can't wait to hear what you have to say. And now if you've made it this far in the video, be sure to subscribe and leave a like. It helps me out a ton, and I definitely have a lot more to say and talk about with this record that you will want to hear. And now if you want to see how right before this album dropped, Kendrick Lamar trolled and got the best of Drake one last time before going all out here, check out the suggested video.